Hello, race fans, and we're back with another Race Face Drive-In 5 podcast. As always, I'm Jacob Seelman, joined once again by Cole Denton in the guest's chair, who, as you can see by the background he has with us this time, got to do something different and very, very cool this past weekend. And I'll admit we kind of kept it quiet going in just because it was one of those, if it goes well, then it's kind of a surprise to everybody. I don't know though, Cole Denton, if I'd have told you going into last weekend that you were going to fly to California, race at Madera Speedway for your first weekend in a late model, and come away with two top fives, one of which was a trip to victory lane. If I'd told you that going in, there's no way you'd have believed me, right?
Definitely not. Never would have believed that.
It's wild. And I know you had 2 days of testing prior to race day Saturdays. So let's take everybody back for a minute and kind of paint the picture here. You were driving for Mike Nake, who's a very well-known car owner out on the left coast, as they say. Um, First off, through the test days, what was your experience? I know you've gotten to do a little bit of training on the race face brand development side with Mike before. What was it like, though, getting to work with him at track and kind of experience what that, kind of veteran team leadership was like under him?
I mean, he was really amazing and just learning everything about the late model. It was really amazing, and he taught me a lot just about the line and when to get on the throttle, how much wheel you need to have, and that kind of stuff. He was really great, and being my spotter, I had to learn how to use a spotter for the first time, so he was really great.
Is that one of those where it's almost for the first couple of minutes information overload just because you're not used to having that extra voice in your ear?
Well, it took me a little while to get used to it in the junior race. By the pro race, I was like, okay, I think I got it figured out.
All right, drivers. So now for us mere mortals that don't drive race cars, give us an understanding, take us through obviously your first experience in a late model out of a legend car. Talk me through the differences, what you had to change, do differently, and learn on the fly.
I mean, I'd say the first thing, I would say it's easier in the late model with the steering because they have power steering. The legend cars don't. So the steering was lighter, but the car was bigger and you had to really know where you were on the racetrack to run a smooth line. And I was having trouble on entry because I was kind of turning the car really quick because I was used to the no power steering in the legend. So that was the big thing for me to get used to it. And just the power, it was really wheel spin in the pro late, but in the junior it was more limited, I could say, and restricted. And just the pro late, you had to watch the wheel spin on the exits of the turns and just save your tires and that kind of stuff. That was something that I really had to learn throughout the race. And that was, in my opinion, the biggest transition was learning how the car reacts on the exit of the turn, having a full size car.
You have experienced different tracks in your career, but obviously this was a, totally different car in addition to a different track. Did Madera remind you of anything that you've ever done before, or was it just so much of a totally different experience that there wasn't really anything to apply to?
I mean, there wasn't really anything except for Highland Realm, which I raced at this year in the Legend car. The way the banking increases the further up the racetrack you go, like the bottom lane is pretty much flat. The second lane, maybe 10 degrees banking. The top lane, 20 degrees banking. I think that was something that was really similar to Highland Realm, and that was the only track that I could kind of compare it to.
All right, so to set the stage, after the 2 days of testing, you go into race day Saturday, and you ended up competing in both the junior late model division at Madera and the full pro late model division, which it's the same car, same chassis, just taking the restrictor off the motor for the pro late model class. Started fourth in both qualified fourth, started fourth in both races. So fours were wild for Cole Denton on Saturday at Madera. Take us through the junior race first, because number one, 70 laps for you in a full-size car. longest distance I know that you've ever done in a single race. Not to mention working your way forward. I mean, you didn't just go up and take the lead. It took you about two-thirds of the race before you finally got there.
I mean, yes, and just to start off the day, I've never qualified by myself. So that
That's
was
right.
new
It's
to
it's
me.
always been group qualifying for you in Legends and Bandos.
Exactly. Like we go to Cordell, they put 15 cars out there with you. So that was really nice. And just learning the line by myself and not having to deal with a lot of cars out there at the same time just to qualify. Come off the track and they make me draw. I qualified fourth. I drew a four and and then the same in the pro late. So I mean just going from the longest race I've ever ran is 35 laps in the legend car at Dominion last year to 70 just immediately. We did have a break at lap 40, which was really nice, but I mean, just the first half of the race, I was learning how the racing was and just still figuring out where the car was on the racetrack. And the second half, I feel like I just got in a rhythm. And once I got in the rhythm, I ran consistent, really pretty fast laps.
What was it like by the end of the night? And I guess I'm fast forwarding a touch here because between the pro late model and the junior late, you ran a total of 150 laps on Saturday. Physically, by the time you were done, what was that like? Obviously the power steering helped, but were you still feeling it just a little bit, especially considering the California heat as well?
Well, I will say if we could have went with no brakes, I feel like it would have been easier on me actually. Just not having to get out the car and get back in.
Mhm.
That wastes a lot of energy.
That's
And my
fair.
arms and legs, they didn't really hurt. It was just my body was aching from dehydration. So that was a problem that I got to fix.
What from a standpoint of just the higher speed and the full body car, were you feeling any of the G forces a little bit more than you did in the Legend car?
Not much more. It was about the same on the G forces, but just going in the turns a lot faster. That was something that I had to get used to. And the brakes, that's another thing that's a big difference for me is the Legend car, the pedal travels a long way and it's not that stiff, but the late model, it moves that much. And it's you got to stomp on the brake pedal to get the car slowed down. That's something that was definitely different for me to learn.
What was the emotion like down the stretch once you got the lead? Was it a case where you're sitting there waiting for something to happen, or was it kind of so surreal in the moment that it almost didn't process until the checkered flag?
I mean, I was just cruising and I wasn't really emotional at that point. I was just, you got to stay serious and you got to stay on the bottom because at that time the top lane hadn't come in and just you had to stay consistent from there. And I mean, I didn't have much emotions until after the race. It finally hit me like, wow, I just won a junior late model race.
Well, and I know the crowds are usually really solid at Madera too. That had to be a thrill to get out in front of a crowd like that.
I mean, it was. And then legend cars, you don't really have a big crowd like that. So that was really nice.
All right, so we'll fast forward now 70 laps in the junior late, and then go into 80 more for the pro late model race. Got as high as second at one point in the pro race, but with an even bigger field against a lot of veterans. I mean, what was that like, particularly through the middle stages? I mean, you never dropped out of the top five through the entire 80 laps, but it was hard fought to keep it up there.
I mean, I will say I was side by side in the top five for maybe lap one to lap 30, and then I'd have a break for two laps, and they were back side by side. So that was something that was really fun, actually, just to get to run side by side like that. You don't have many tracks that you can do that.
Did you get any reaction from any of the Madera regulars after it was over? Did you have a chance to, or did anybody, maybe come up and talk to you after the race?
Pretty much everybody, everybody talked to me after the race and congratulated me and said you did really good for your first time here, and just everybody was really welcoming to for my first time at Madera. All the officials, everybody was super nice.
So Cole Denton goes west. Cole Denton gets a trophy. Have you picked out a place for the trophy yet?
I have not. Now on the airplane, we had to go buy a $30 bag just to carry it on the plane. We had to take the trophy apart, so we put it
Oh
back
my
together when
gosh.
we got here. But we had to we had to bring it on the plane in a big duffel bag.
Most special win of your career so far? you think?
I would say so, considering it was my first ever late model race. It was really, really a big deal for me.
I Is this one of those moments where as you know, a teenager, you know the level that you ultimately want to get to, but I know at times when you're starting a new step, I'm sure you ask yourself, okay, how's this going to go? Can we do this? Is this one of those moments that you kind of look at it and go, okay, we really can do this?
I mean, yes, but anything can happen no matter what car you're in. So you
Sure.
just got to stay humble and be ready for anything.
Are you hoping that you can get another opportunity in the late model soon, given how well this one went?
I mean, I'd love to. I mean, anything I can race.
Here we go. Anybody that's watching this right now, Cole Denton is eager and willing. If anybody has a late model out there that he can get back in, we'll just go ahead and throw that right out there, won't we? I know a lot of people went into making this weekend possible for you, Cole. Shout outs, thank yous. Who do you need to give a call to for making an incredible first late model debut happen?
I mean, my mom and dad and Mr. Mike Nate and his whole crew, they were really amazing. And Nate Motorsports, they had it going on the other night. It was just amazing. And 77 speed shot for my legend car and getting me ready for this moment. And the Friends of Jacqueline Foundation, Race Face Brand Development, Matt Jones Motorsports, and most importantly, God.
And I do want to point this out too. 150 laps, longest weekend of racing you've ever done. And if there was one thing that Mike said when it was all over, he was most impressed looking at you, and you didn't even hesitate. You were with the crew helping them to push the pit cart right back onto the trailer when it was over, even after 150 laps.
I mean, yes, anything I can do to help them.
That's, it speaks a lot to what you've done and the commitment level at a young age to do what you're doing, Cole. It's impressive. We're proud of you. And I know kind of this popped up on the schedule so suddenly we're not really 100. Do we know even when you're taking the legend car back out next, or is it kind of just a day at a time right now?
Friday at Atlanta. So
All
we'll be
right.
back in Atlanta.
And I guess we should make this point too, real quick. After the junior late race, actually, if you think back, the last three races of Thursday Thunder, you swept a doubleheader for track points at Atlanta, and the junior late race on Saturday. Prior to the pro late race, that was a streak of six in a row, which is the kind of run you haven't been on in a little bit.
Yes, and yeah, that's really amazing. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, six in a row plus another top five to boot. No complaints there from any of us, I don't think, Cole. Really, really glad to get you back on. Congratulations on an incredible late model debut, and can't wait to see what's going to happen next. And good luck later this week at Atlanta.
All right, thank you.
That's Cole Denton. I'm Jacob Seelman. This has been another Race Face Drive in 5 podcast. We'll see you next time.